Now we shall discuss about Pareto optimality. Okay, so according to Pareto criterion or Pareto optimality, if any reorganization of economic resources doesn't harm anybody but makes someone better off, it indicates an increase in social welfare. Okay, so let us understand it in a very simple manner. Let us consider two persons A and B. Okay, and A is at a utility level of 10. So A is enjoying a utility level of 10, or his satisfaction level is 10. Similarly, B's satisfaction level is also 10. Now suppose the government takes up a policy, economic policy, say D is the policy. So after the implementation of D, A's satisfaction level increases to 15. Okay, and B's utility or satisfaction level remains constant. So what have we seen? That the implementation of the policy D has not harmed B, but it has increased the satisfaction level of A. So we will consider that this policy D has helped the government to increase the social welfare. Okay, now whereas if the situation would have been such that with an increase in the utility of level of A, if the utility level of B decreases, say it goes to 8 from 10, then we will say that this policy does not promote social welfare, or it is not promoting social welfare according to the Pareto optimal criterion. So according to Pareto optimal criterion, any policy or any reorganization of resources, if it is able to increase the benefit, or if it is able to make someone better off without making anyone worse off, okay, then we will consider that the policy or the reorganization is successful in promoting social welfare. Okay, now this can also be understood with the help of this curve. Now this curve is known as Samuelson utility possibility curve. Over here we are measuring A's utility and we are measuring here B's utility. Okay, and this curve is showing the maximum utility that can be achieved by them. It is similar to that of a PPC curve that you have already gone through in your HS classes. So by using all his resources, by using their all resources, A and B can attain a utility level to up to this extent. Okay, they cannot enjoy any utility level beyond it. Suppose say take 3 points. Okay, now if they are in this point, say this point is termed as P, then it implies that B is attaining this much amount of utility and A is attaining this much amount of utility. Okay, and after attainment of this utility, they are still left with some of their resources. All their resources have not been utilized. Okay, and if the persons A and B are in this point, that implies that they are attaining a higher utility level compared to P, and for attaining this utility level they have to forego all their resources. They do not have any resources in their hand now, and they are incapable of achieving this level of satisfaction, because they do not have that much amount of resources to reach this point. Okay, now suppose both A and B are at point C. So at point C they are enjoying this much amount of, A is enjoying this much amount of utility and B is enjoying this much amount of utility. Okay, and now the government thinks of taking up a policy to improve their utility. So after the implementation of the government policy, suppose both of them move from this point to this point D. Okay, now movement from C to D implies that B's satisfaction level has increased. See, B was over here and now B satisfaction level is over here. So obviously there is a clear increase in the utility of B, whereas A's utility level has remained constant. So due to the implementation of the policy, A's utility level has remained constant, whereas B's utility level has increased. This means B has become better off, whereas the policy did not make A worse off, did not cause any harm to A. That means a movement from this point C to D implies an increase in the social welfare. Similarly, if we move from C to E, it will imply that the welfare of A has increased, whereas the welfare of B has remained constant. So it also implies that there is an increase in the social welfare, as the implementation of the policy has made A better off and without making B worse off. Okay, so any movement between this D and C portion of the curve implies a social welfare. See, if you move from here to here, the utility of A increases keeping B constant. If you move from here to here, utility of B increases keeping A constant. Whereas if you move from here to here, say F, utility of both of them will increase. Okay, compared to this, you always compare the points with respect to the point C. Okay, always compare the post movement points with the peeve movement point, that is point C. So movement from C to F or C to this point, say, or C to this point will imply an increase in the welfare of both the parties or both the individuals. So any movement from C within this range of the curve will imply an increase in the social welfare, whereas if you move from C to Q, no doubt the utility of B will increase, but utility of A will decrease from here. There will be a decrease in the A's utility. So we can't consider it as a Pareto optimal policy, that the policy is not able to promote social welfare. Okay, so this was Pareto optimality. So according to which a policy, if it is able to make someone better off without making anyone worse off, then that policy is considered to be a increase in the social welfare, or that policy is able to promote an increase in the social welfare. Thank you.